The sands of time may shift, empires may rise and fall, but the legacy of the Ten Commandments endures. Tonight, we embark on a cinematic pilgrimage, a journey 68 years in the making. We'll revisit the legendary cast, those who brought the epic story of Moses and the Exodus to life. Will their faces, etched with the passage of years, still hold the power to move us? Join us as we peel back the layers of time and rediscover the magic of the Ten Commandments. Number 1. Charlton Heston, as Moses. Born as an Israelite, in a time when the Egyptians enslaved his people, Moses straddled two worlds. Raised in the Pharaoh's palace, he knew the gleam of gold and the weight of expectation. Yet his heart held a deeper loyalty, a bond woven from whispered stories and tear-stained prayers, a connection to his Hebrew heritage. His eyes, some say, held the glint of a coming storm, a storm brewed from a potent mix of compassion and righteous fury. He wouldn't stand idly by while his people suffered. Though he was raised as a prince, his heart belonged to the downtrodden. One of the most commanding stars of his era, actor Charlton Heston, was a man whose presence allowed him to play larger-than-life characters on screen. With his imposing stature and sonorous voice, it did not take long before the stage actor was landing roles on early television and headlining feature films like The Greatest Show on Earth in 1952. As impressive as these early roles were, Heston's performances in the biblical blockbusters The Ten Commandments in 1956 and Ben-Hur in 1959 cemented his stature as a leading man in Hollywood. He continued with a steady output of historical epics, and as the 1960s drew to a close, took part in several science fiction classics, beginning with Planet of the Apes in 1968. There was no denying that Charlton Heston was one of the most influential and prolific actors in 20th century cinema, providing generations of audiences with some of the most memorable big-screen performances of all time. Moses played by Charlton Heston when he was 33 years old. Sadly, Heston died due to pneumonia on the morning of April 5, 2008, at his home in Beverly Hills, California. Number 2. Yul Briner as Ramesses. Ramses is the kind of dude who walks into a room and everyone stops talking. Not because he's super nice, but because you never know what mood he's in. See, Ramses craves respect but throws a tantrum worthy of a toddler if he doesn't get it. He's all about keeping Egypt on top, even if it means, well, stepping on a few necks. Oh, and there's this whole Moses situation that gets something fierce under his skin. Jealousy? Maybe. Insecurity? Most definitely. Powerful and proud, with a side of major issues. You gotta admit, though, that the guy's interesting. Yul Briner took up acting after a serious accident curtailed his career as a circus acrobat. Briner moved to America in 1940 and gave the first of 4,625 performances over the course of many revivals as the King of Siam in the hit Broadway musical The King and I in 1951. Briner recreated the role for the 1956 screen version, winning an Oscar as Best Actor, and subsequently began a successful starring career in films. Trading on his handsome looks and somewhat imperial manner, Briner played a succession of royals, secret agents, and gunslingers, notably in The Magnificent Seven in 1960 and Westworld in 1973. Ramesses was played by Yul Briner when he was 36 years old. Sadly, Briner died of lung cancer on October 10, 1985, at New York Hospital at the age of 65. Number 3. Anne Baxter as Nefertiri. Forget diamonds. Nefertiri's true currency is power. Her heart may be wrapped in gold, but her mind is honed like a warrior's blade. Navigating the viper's nest of the Egyptian court, Nefertiri does it with a smile that would charm a sphinx and a brain that could outmaneuver a pride of lions. Mark my words, when Nefertiri sets her sights on something, it's as good as hers. The Nile might bend, but this queen, never. So the next time you hear the rustle of a silken gown, don't be fooled. Nefertiri's coming, and she's here to take what's hers. a luminous screen presence best known for a handful of roles. Anne Baxter acted in 3 Broadway productions while still in her teens and was soon invited to Hollywood. Her early films were not of consistent quality, but the lovely, husky-voiced actress usually managed to make a positive impression and showed genuine ability in pictures as varied as Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons in 1942, Five Graves to Cairo in 1943, and The Razor's Edge in 1946, winning a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for the latter. However, she was best remembered for her indelible performances as a ruthless, success-driven young actress in All About Eve in 1950 and the gorgeous and nefarious Nefertiti in Cecil B. DeMille's religious epic The Ten Commandments in 1956. Principal among these was Applause in 1972, a musical reworking of All About Eve for the stage in which the now older Baxter successfully assumed the role of the character she had deceived in the film. It was that sort of versatility and professionalism that allowed Baxter to earn numerous credits in 3 different mediums over a career spanning almost 50 years. Nefertiti played by Anne Baxter when she was 36 years old. Sadly, she died while having a stroke on December 12, 1985 in New York City at the age of 62. Number 4. Edward G. Robinson as Dathan, a man with a smile that could sell sand in the desert. That's Dathan. Smooth as butter and twice as greasy, this guy's got more schemes than a palace full of pharaohs. Power's his drug, and he'll do whatever it takes to get another fix. Lies drip from his lips like honey, and his charm can turn even the most loyal head. Moses represents everything Dathan fears. A leader with integrity and a connection to the people, so Dathan's got to play dirty. Expect backstabbing, manipulation, and enough scheming to make a vizier blush. Golden Age. Hollywood's ultimate OG, Edward G. Robinson, made a living as a tough guy in a raft of iterations, from hard-boiled newspaper man to intrepid G-man. In real life, soft-spoken, intellectual, and selfless, Robinson would nevertheless imprint himself as cold-eyed Machiavellian thugs in such film classics as Little Caesar, The Sea-Wolf in 1941, and Key Largo in 1948. Though he could also single-handedly lift films with his rapid-fire comic timing, as with such screwball outings as The Whole Town's Talking, and with colorful cerebral supporting roles, as in Double Indemnity in 1944. Able to command the screen with both verve and subtlety, he played his roles with such archetypal distinction and verbal flair that he would wind up inspiring a number of cartoon characters, from the shorts of Warner Brothers' studio mate Bugs Bunny, while he was alive to lovably inept Constable Chief Wiggum in American television's longest-running show, The Simpsons, in 1989. Dathan played by Edward G. Robinson when she was 36 years old. Robinson died of bladder cancer at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles on January 26, 1973. Number 5. Ivon De Carlo as Sephora. In the whole Moses story, you might be thinking of Zipporah, his wife. Now, Zipporah, that's your girl next door, who also happens to be super brave. This isn't some damsel in distress waiting to be rescued. Nope, Zipporah's got mad skills as a healer, using them to help whoever needs it. When things get tough, she's always there for Moses, a pillar of strength by his side. Ivon De Carlo's undeniable beauty turned heads, leading her to win prestigious pageants like Miss Venice. This caught the attention of Hollywood scouts, propelling her into the world of cinema. The 1940s and 50s saw De Carlo light up the silver screen. Her exotic features, perfectly suited for the emerging Technicolor films, earned her the nickname the Queen of Technicolor. De Carlo's talent extended beyond captivating looks. She showcased her acting chops in a variety of roles, from sultry sirens in films like The Brute Force to swashbuckling heroines in The Desert Hawk. Despite her success, De Carlo often felt typecast. Yearning for more depth, She embraced television in the 1960s. There she landed the role that would define her later career. Lily Munster, in the iconic sitcom The Munsters. De Carlo's portrayal of the glamorous yet devoted mother to the endearingly monstrous family captured the hearts of audiences. While The Munsters ended in 1966, De Carlo continued to act on stage and screen well into her 70s. Though she passed away in 2007, her legacy remains vibrant. De Carlo's journey from beauty queen to Hollywood star and ultimately to cherished television icon reminds us that true beauty lies in talent, resilience, and the ability to captivate audiences across generations. Sephora is played by Ivon De Carlo when she was 54 years old. Sadly, she died from heart failure on January 8, 2007, and was cremated in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles. Number 6. Deborah Paget. As Lilia born a slave, Lilia refuses to wear those chains on her soul. Her will is a fortress, her convictions a shield. Kindness is her weapon, a balm for the downtrodden and a beacon for the lost. When she moves, it's not just a dance. It's a story whispered on the wind, a tapestry woven from resilience and unwavering spirit. Each flick of her wrist, a brushstroke against the canvas of fate. Watch her closely, for in the sway of her hips lies a revolution waiting to be ignited. Deborah Paget's career was a whirlwind of genres, a testament to her versatility. Signed by 20th Century Fox at a tender 14, she found herself thrust into the world of film noir with Cry of the City. But Paget wasn't destined for shadows. Her youthful beauty and boundless energy soon propelled her into a kaleidoscope of roles. Swashbuckling adventures like Prince Valiant showcased her athleticism, while musicals like Bells on Their Toes allowed her charm to shine. Paget became a fixture in Hollywood spectacles. Cecil B. DeMille tapped her for a pivotal role in his epic The Ten Commandments, solidifying her place in cinematic history. She even shared the silver screen with a rising star named Elvis Presley in Love Me Tender, a testament to her enduring appeal. Despite critical acclaim and audience adoration, Paget craved a life beyond Hollywood. After 2 marriages and a successful run in horror films like The Haunted Palace, she made the bold decision to step away from the limelight in the 1960s. Paget's career may have been relatively brief, but her impact on Hollywood remains undeniable. From captivating audiences in historical epics to lighting up the screen alongside Hollywood legends, Deborah Paget left an indelible mark as a captivating actress who dared to choose her own path. Lilia was played by Deborah Paget when she was 23 years old, and now she is 90 years old. Number 7. John Derek as Joshua is not some mythical hero, but a regular guy with dirt under his fingernails and calluses on his hands. Life hasn't exactly been a walk in the park for him. Challenges keep piling up like desert sand dunes, enough to make anyone want to curl up and quit. Here's the thing about Joshua. He puts his people first, always. No fancy titles or thrones for him. He's more interested in seeing his folks safe and sound than in personal glory. A minor young lead in Hollywood films of the late 1940s and early 1950s, John Derek achieved greater fame as a photographer and director of cheesecake and softcore films featuring his famous wives, who included actresses Ursula Andress, Linda Evans, and Bo Derek. His darkly handsome features earned him a contract with Columbia, but after substantial roles in Knock on Any Door in 1948 and All the King's Men in 1950, he faded into costume adventures. He shifted to still photography and direction in the late 1960s, helming salacious efforts with Andress and Evans before striking pay dirt with the younger, less experienced Derek. He directed her in a string of softcore films, including Tarzan the Ape Man in 1981 and Bolero in 1984, most of which were hits, despite being savaged by critics. After his death in 1998, Derek's penchant for exploiting the physical charms of his wives overshadowed his photography and early performances. Joshua was played by John Derek when he was 30 years old. Sadly, John Derek died on May 22, 1998, of cardiovascular disease in Santa Maria, California, at the age of 71. Number 8. Cedric Hardwick as Sethi was a giant of a man with a booming voice that could silence a crowd. He built a kingdom as strong and enduring as the pyramids themselves, but Sethi's not all sunbeams and sand. He's stubborn as a camel, clinging to his ideas like desert sand to your sandals. Advice? Forget about it. Sethi loves his son Ramesses and wants him to be the best pharaoh ever, but his idea of best involves following in his footsteps, lockstep. Ramesses has other plans, and Sethi's attempts to control him create some serious friction. Pharaoh's iron fist isn't exactly gentle, and his hunger for power can lead him down some reckless paths. Cedric Hardwick wasn't born a Hollywood star. He commanded the stage. Trained at the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, his booming voice and imposing presence resonated in the hallowed halls of London's theaters. Shakespeare and Shaw were his early companions, his masterful performances earning him the respect of audiences and critics alike. Knighthood followed in 1934, a testament to his theatrical prowess. But Hollywood beckoned, and Hardwick, ever the adventurer, crossed the Atlantic. Here, his career took on a new dimension. While never quite the leading man, his gravitas and dignified air made him the quintessential character actor. He became the face of authority, portraying historical figures like Pharaoh Ramses II in The Ten Commandments and Judge Matthew Hale in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He graced both the big and small screens, leaving a lasting impression on audiences of every generation. Cedric Hardwick's legacy is one of versatility, a man who transitioned seamlessly from the intimacy of the stage to the grandeur of Hollywood, captivating audiences with his powerful presence and unmatched talent. Sethi was played by Cedric Hardwick when he was 65 years old. Sadly, he suffered from emphysema and died 6th of August, 1964, at the age of 71 in New York from its disease. Number 9. Nina Foch as Bithia. Can you guess who this is? A brave soul who stared down a crocodile to save a basket in the Nile? If you said Bithia, then you are a true fan. Bithia is a firecracker in a world choked by fear. The times are tough, and the air is thick with oppression, but Bithia's spirit burns brighter than the desert sun. When she stumbles upon that tiny basket adrift on the Nile, a silent scream against a backdrop of terror, something primal within her. Bithia had a heart as big as the Nile itself, and when she saw that helpless babe, something clicked. Family might have given her the stink eye, the whole don't rock the boat routine. But Bithia wasn't one to follow the crowd, especially when a tiny life was at stake. So she defied the rules, becoming a mama bear for this little stranger. Tall, blonde B-film leads of the 1940s turned character actresses from the 1950s on, most typically as cool, aloof women whose surface sophistication only thinly masks their insecurity. Foch made a good impression as one of Bela Lugosi's victims in the enjoyable Return of the Vampire, and played another victimized heroine in cult director Joseph H. Lewis's unnerving gothic noir, My Name is Julia Ross, in 1945. Foch is perhaps best known for her striking performance as Milo, the wealthy arts patron who attempts to snare painter Jerry Mulligan with her money in Vincente Minnelli's Oscar-winning An American in Paris in 1951. She was also quite fine in her Oscar-nominated turn as the loyal secretary in the all-star Executive Suite in 1954, and as one of the fleeing Israelites in Cecil B. DeMille's holiday favorite, The Ten Commandments, in 1956. Bithia is played by Nina Foch when she was 41 years old. Sadly, Foch died from blood disorder on December 5, 2008, aged 84, at the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. Number 10. Martha Scott as Jochebed Rough Times. Yocheved. Moses' mom laughs in their faces. This mama bear's got strength, courage that puts lions to shame, and love for her son bigger than the Nile itself. Challenges pile up like desert dunes, but Yocheved, unwavering. Her faith, a steady beacon in the darkness, guides her through. Buckle up. Yocheved's story is one of fierce love and unwavering belief, a testament to the power of a mother's heart. An attractive, accomplished actress, Martha Scott began her professional career appearing in Shakespearean productions at the 1933-34 Chicago World's Fair. After further honing her craft in stock and on radio, she made her mark as Emily in the 1938 original Broadway production of Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer-winning Our Town. Scott earned a 1940 Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for her film debut, recreating the stage role. For much of her early feature career, the Missouri native generally played characters much older than herself, like the titular elderly woman reflecting on her life in Tay Garnett's Cheers for Miss Bishop, or her loyal parson's wife in One Foot in Heaven, both 1941. In The Desperate Hours, she was stalwart as the wife and mother of the family held hostage by Humphrey Bogart. The actress played the mother of Charlton Heston in two 1950s biblical epics, Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments, and William Wyler's Oscar winner, Ben-Hur. After an absence of a decade and a half, Scott returned to acting as a nun on board a distressed plane in the schlocky sequel Airport 1975, and offered an astringent turn as a ballet company manager in Herbert Ross's The Turning Point in 1977. Yocheved played by Martha Scott when she was 44 years old. Scott died on May 28, 2003, in Van Nuys, Los Angeles, aged 90, from natural causes. Number 11. Judith Anderson, as Memnet forget sugarcoating, Memnet wasn't one to mince words. Royalty? More like chew toys for her sharp tongue. This woman was a walking history book with a fierce loyalty burning brighter than the desert sun. The 19th dynasty? Now that it was a golden age, the reign of Ramesses II, the definitive cherry on top. Pharaoh Sethi. I made a wise choice, for sure, but Memnet wouldn't hesitate to tell him if he was barking up the wrong pyramid. Judith Anderson's career crackled with global ambition. Australian stages launched her raw talent, which ignited Broadway. Hollywood embraced her chilling sophistication, most notably in Hitchcock's Rebecca. Television became her new dominion, with Anderson defying age barriers on screen right up to her golden years. A versatile force, she captivated audiences for over 7 decades. Memnet was played by Judith Anderson when she was 59 years old. Sadly, Anderson spent much of her life in Santa Barbara, California, where she died of pneumonia in 1992, aged 94. Number 12. Vincent Price as Baca. Vincent Price began his career not on a soundstage, but on the hallowed stages of London, where his booming voice resonated with Shakespearean grandeur. But a twist of fate, or perhaps a touch of the macabre, led him to Hollywood. There, his career took a chilling turn. While he dabbled in supporting roles and even the occasional heartthrob, it was the horror genre that embraced him. His aristocratic features and mellifluous voice lent a chilling elegance to films like House of Wax and The Raven. He became a legend of the genre, collaborating with horror icons like Edgar Allan Poe, well, sort of, and Roger Corman. But Price wasn't a one-trick pony. He reveled in the campy charm of B-movies, lending them a wink and a shiver. He even lent his voice to Michael Jackson's iconic Thriller, forever etching his name in pop culture history. Vincent Price's career is a testament to the power of embracing the unconventional, a chilling reminder that true artistry can lurk in the darkest corners. Baca was played by Vincent Price when he was 45 years old. Sadly, he died at age 82 of lung cancer on October 25, 1993, at his home in Los Angeles, California. And with that, the curtain closes on our journey through time with The 10 Commandments cast. We may miss their silver screen presence, but their legacy lives on. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more blasts from the cinematic past. Until next time, keep it epic.